Good morning, Cody. This is Mohammed, and this is your Breville Barista Express BES870 in black sesame. So as you saw in the photos, this machine is in good condition, I would say. It is a used machine, so of course do expect some wear in there. This one has the scratches on the front from where the cup goes in and out. Some light blemishes here and here, but honestly very good condition, I would say. Comes with all the accessories as you saw in the photos. And in this video, I'll be demonstrating the machine, going through all the features, making a coffee. In fact, I'll be making my morning coffee, which is the Magic. It's a small latte, basically, a concentrated latte. Just before the video, I finished doing all the service items, so cleaning cycle, descale cycle, calibrating the grinder, testing the pressure for the water and the steam, testing for any leaks. Everything checks out, absolutely no issues at all. In fact, the only thing that I had to do was cleaning the contacts on the water flow meter. The water flow meter on this unit. Previously, it wouldn't stop on time. Now it stops on time, so it's all good in that regard. So I like to, before any coffee machine session, I like to warm it up. So when you turn it on, it takes about 1 minute to reach temperature on the boiler, and you see that with the buttons coming on. But that doesn't mean your portafilter is hot. That doesn't mean your cup is hot. So we want to warm these up, and to do that, we run a blank shot. So I'm going to grab my spoon here. And we'll run a double shot of hot water. Nothing is in the handle, of course. This will warm things up. It'll also clean. So if there's any coffee grounds or oil stuck in the basket or on the shower screen, this will flush them out. Do that once or twice, it's up to you. There we go, stops on time every time. I'll put that away, nice and hot. Get rid of this water, grab a tissue and dry it thoroughly. So your machine comes with 4 baskets, 2 doubles, 2 singles. The doubles, one of them is a single wall, this is the single wall. You also have a double wall, double shot, which is just behind the camera. That one is pressurized, they call it, pressurized, so it will create pressure even when there's no coffee in the handle, or if there's bad coffee in the handle. It'll still give you some pressure and crema. This one will taste better and it'll be easier to clean, I think. Right, so this will take 18 grams of coffee. That's what I'll be aiming for. I'll put this at the 12 o'clock mark. Grind size is at number 3 now. I've never made a coffee on it, so you can't know if it's the correct grind size before you make a coffee. But I had a look just before the video, and the texture and the consistency of the grind size is close to what I think is ideal for espresso. But of course, each bean is different, so we'll have to make a coffee and confirm. So yeah, number 3 on the grind size, 12 o'clock, and filter size is on single. You can do it on double and do the double quantity in one go. I personally like to put it on single and do it twice. That way I can prevent any mess and spillage that can happen with the double. Okay, so that's my first dose. I'll take that out and measure. Should be 9 grams. If we do that twice, it's 18. This is 8.5. So I'll go to 1 o'clock, slightly more. So I'll top it up by holding, and now it should be 9. 8.8. Yeah, that's fine. I'll press it with a temper. This is very important. So you lightly press with a temper to make way for the next batch. Otherwise, if you keep grinding, it'll just make a mess, as if you're grinding the full double amount anyway. And that's my second dose. Let's have a look. $17.5, great. So if you do this twice, you will be getting about 17.5, which is good, I think. It doesn't have to be exactly 18. Going a bit under is fine. Going over is more problematic. So if you overdose, If you underdose, actually, if you go a little bit under, you might get a bit more watery coffee. But if you go over, you might choke the machine. So if you lock it in, it'll put more pressure, and you won't be able to lock in the handle. Or if you can lock in the handle, it'll put a lot of stress on the coffee and on the group head. Yeah, and before you press it with a tamper, just spread it around with your finger, and then grab your tamper and press it nice and firmly. If you don't have a scale, or if you're in a hurry and you just don't want to use the scale, just look at the depth of the tamper after you press. So now we know we have the correct amount, which is like I said, 17.5, 18. The silver part on the tamper should disappear. So that's what's happening now. This is the depth of the coffee, basically the same depth as the silver part on the tamper. It's like a little guide. Make sure it's flat, clean the edges, and lock it in. You can lock it in the middle. You don't have to go all the way to the right. Unless it's slipping, you don't have to go all the way to the right. Hot water tap, if you want to add like hot water to make this espresso into a long black. If you want to warm up your cups, etc., you can use this for that. I personally like to add a little bit of sugar to my coffees. So I use this hot water tap to add that few mils of water to help the sugar dissolve. So we measure the input, we also want to measure the output. So a good recipe for espresso is about 2 to 1. So for every gram we grind, we want 2 grams out into the cup. So we have 18 or 17.5. We want 35 grams into the cup in 30 seconds. So timing is important. This doubling should happen in 30 seconds. We'll make a coffee now and we'll see how long that takes. If the 35 grams takes me, let's say 15 seconds or 10 seconds to come out, then that's obviously way too quick. You'll see that if the pressure is low and the coffee stops really quickly. If the coffee is too fine, oh sorry, let's say that again. If the 35 gram shot takes, rather than 30 seconds, if it takes 50 seconds or 1 minute, then that's too long, and we need to fix that by changing the grind size. So think of the grind size numbers as like speed. So smaller number, slower speed, higher number, higher speed. So the smaller the number, the finer the coffee, the more slowly the coffee, the slower the pour. If the number is large, too large, and the coffee is gushing out of the spouts, you'll see low pressure, you'll see your shot stopping really quickly. That's a lot of talking. Let's make coffee. So I'll program the button for you. So from factory, they come a bit too long. So this will give you about 60 grams rather than like 35 or 40. So I'll change that. To do that, you press program, then you press the button you want to program. I'm also going to time it. So now it's programming. I'll stop it when it's about 35 grams or 40. Yeah, these are not good beans at all. So these beans are from the supermarket, and I think they should be changed. So this was 15 seconds, 39 grams in 15 seconds. Not ideal. So should have started with better beans. I don't have any at the moment. But what I would recommend is use good beans. As you see, it was like watery, is a bit too quick. Pressure was maybe at 10 o'clock. So I guess you can say within the gray zone of the espresso range, but not ideal. The ideal would be around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, I would say. So yeah, this shot would probably taste sour because of that speed. I could do it again and grind finer, but it's already quite fine. And when you get the machine, you'll probably be using different beans, and with those beans, maybe grind size number 3 will be good. So I'll leave it up to you to do the rest. I wish I could have done a better job here, but yeah, the beans are not ideal. Yeah, so try the machine as is. Try it with grind size number 3. Try it at the 1 o'clock position here. Try it with the button that I programmed here. It's now at 39 grams, but you know, give or take 5 grams, because when you make coffee with different beans, you change the pressure profile. It's a long thing, but yeah, try the double button with a double shot basket and the settings that I told you just before. And try to use good beans. If you use freshly roasted beans, you can expect higher pressures and more crema with freshly roasted beans, like a local roaster or a cafe that has the beans fresh. If you go to the supermarket, some beans are good, some are bad. I've noticed the Coles brand are good, the Aldi brand very good. Other brands are mediocre. So I've been using Harris. Unfortunately, they're not very fresh. So as you saw, very runny. But yeah, that's coffee. I'll take the portafilter out, knock it off into the box, and then I'm gonna rinse by pressing the double button. I was gonna rinse the shower screen up here and the portafilter. So rather than having to go all the way to the sink with a dripping portafilter, you can just do it here. The disadvantage is that you have to, you know, fill the water tank more frequently and empty the drip tray more frequently because you're using that water. But it's only like 40-60 mils, so it should be fine. Try to keep the machine dry as much as possible to keep it nice and clean. And next we'll be steaming some milk, so turn on the steamer. Being a single boil machine, it'll take about 15 seconds for the thermal block to heat up to 130 degrees. Once you hear the pump pulsate, that's about ready. You need to learn the technique if you haven't. It's not too difficult. There we go, starting to steam properly now. Give it a few more seconds, it'll be even stronger. So you need to position the jug correctly. Turn it off. You have about 5 seconds to position yourself before the machine reverts to espresso mode. Keep the tip close to the surface for the first 10 seconds or so, and keep the milk spinning like in a vortex. When you hear this, like hissing sound, this one, that means you're injecting air into the milk. So we don't want to do that for too long, so 10 seconds is about appropriate. More than that, we'll start getting like a cappuccino froth rather than a latte froth, or foam, I guess. We want a silky smooth texture, so we won't do that for more than 10 seconds. After that, just raise the jug to stop hissing or stop aerating the milk, so you don't have an overly large froth. Keep it spinning until it's too hot to the touch. When it's too hot to the touch, turn it off. Slowly take it out. Give it a quick purge, just to clean the insides, and then give it 5 seconds and it'll revert back to espresso mode. In the meantime, grab a wet towel and wipe it off. There we go. So now the machine is ready to make another espresso. We will quickly wipe the wand. Obviously it's metal, obviously it gets really hot, so the milk will bake on it and form a crust. So you want to clean it as soon as possible so that it's easy to clean. Otherwise, if you wait until tomorrow, it's going to be hard to clean. You can also, a little trick I've devised is use the hot water tap. Hot water will really dissolve that milk if you've forgotten to clean it one time. So it's good to keep it nice and clean. Okay, with that out of the way, everything nice and clean, we're ready to pour the milk. We may have given it a bit too much foam. So knock the jug on the counter. This is my jug, by the way. It's a bit smaller than the standard Breville one included with your machine. But I'm knocking it to break any big air bubbles, and then swirling it around to mix it up. Get that nice smooth texture. Wow, I love this jug. We've got I think this is a tulip or a weirdly shaped heart. But yeah, this is what I've managed to do today. getting better. I'm sure you can do similar, if not better, latte art with some practice. Hope you enjoy the machine. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate. And I'll see you today or tomorrow. Thanks, Cody.